At the end of this video, you're gonna figure out what the 5 most common mistakes are in pickleball at the beginner level. The first mistake that we see at a beginner level is beginners love to hit a return, look to see how pretty it is, have a cup of tea at the baseline, and just not move forward. This is how it would look, and know that you're at a huge advantage just by getting up and established first on the return. You should always be looking to come forward. Anytime we hit a return, think about returning and running. But here's what I see at a lower level on the return. They are taking a swing. They are taking a swing and simply just staying back. If I was to swing and stay back, I guarantee the play from the server would be to drive to the open court, drive at me. They're gonna come forward. Now they're in control of the court position by getting established first, and now I have lost my advantage as a returner because I'm back having a cup of tea. Here's how it should look. I'm hitting a return, I'm moving forward, and I'm making sure that right before Ethan or my opponent makes contact on their third ball, then I'm up and established and I'm organized and I'm balanced for my fourth ball. Again, backhand side, taking a return, moving forward, getting myself up, getting established. Think about after return, you and your partner are gonna set up a wall and you're gonna try to push the servers back and make them feel traffic as they move forward. But more so, just understand that you're at a bigger advantage by getting up and established first. With that being said, as I'm hitting a fourth or a sixth or an eighth, I'm making sure that I have depth and I'm pushing the servers back and making them feel pressure as they move forward. Second mistake that we see out here at a beginner level, we see a lot of beginners loving to hit their third ball and just rush through it. They're not taking any pit stops. They're not looking to address and assess after they make contact, and they're just blindly moving forward and expecting to win the point even if they pop the third up. So I would say second mistake would simply be they're just rushing and running without any logic as they move forward in transition. This is how it'd look. I'm gonna have Ethan feed me a return. I'm gonna be hitting a third ball. I'm gonna look to move forward off of my third ball. Whether I get that sucker down in a non-attackable area or I pop this thing up, I'm gonna be leading with the crown of my head and I'm just simply blindly moving forward. Take a look. This is what you should not do. Drop, in, big no-no. Bad things happen. Again. Drop. Okay, again, tweener, we call that a tweener. Okay, again, drop, go ahead. Drop, I get this one down, but I'm still moving forward. It's gonna be tough for me to get balanced and organized, even if I do get it down. Think about the equivalent of hitting a putt in golf as you're walking. Both Ethan and Colton would never do this, but if I'm hitting a putt as I'm walking in golf, that would be equivalent to me trying to hit a softball in transition as my weight's moving forward. Last one here. Drop, moving in, okay? Think about when we drop, we're gonna look to address and assess, and we're gonna see how good the drop looks. Lower levels, if you find that you drop in your opponent's red zone, or you see them over-leaning, or you see them chasing trash, that's a great time to move forward. Take a look. This is how it should look. I'm dropping, it gets down, I'm stopped, block, again, block, now I'm in. So I am gaining court position, I'm breaking down, I'm using a split step, I'm getting organized. Know that your soft game is only as good as how still your lower extremities are. Drop, in, break down, half volley, now I'm in, okay? Now I'm in and it's go time. Lower level, if you figure out or if you start being disciplined in transition and you're moving up in the correct manner and you're balanced and organized as you move forward, or you're gonna see that over time, your opponents are gonna feel pressure because they feel the pressure of you being disciplined in transition and using the right shot selection. That's gonna force some unforced errors, and that's gonna force your opponents to break down. The third mistake that I see at the kitchen line with lower level or beginner level players is not understanding shot selection, and really they're very comfortable taking a step back, fading away, trying to bail out, or just recognizing that if they're on defense, they're always looking to be aggressive. I call it a one-shot wonder, or you're trying to be the hero. Know that you should not be hitting any sort of one-shot wonders. You should not look to be the hero. Why? Because there's such a huge percentage of points at this level that's won by unforced errors. I would say at lower levels, probably 90% of the points are being won by unforced errors and just putting balls in play. So your motto should always be make one extra ball, because that goes a long ways, and it could force your opponent to self-destruct or just simply make an unforced error. So here's how it would look. Know that you should only be speeding up if you have your sly. Slide stands for stable, location yellow. If I can check all those boxes, I have license to speed up, but this is a scenario where I have not checked all those boxes, and this is something we see at lower levels. So Ethan and I are dinking back and forth, dinking back and forth. You will see that since I'm not ready for the recounter, or since I'm not ready for the second one, Ethan is gonna eat up my initial speed up. So E pushes me back here, pushes me back. I'm looking to fade away, try to hit a one-shot wonder. My partner is very upset with me. Why? Because now it's 1 versus 2 and I'm making them clean up my mess. Okay, same thing here. Okay, Ethan is sitting all over it. He's eating it up for lunch. If you're not ready for the second one, don't hit the first one. Last example here. Okay, dinking back and forth. We see beginners dinking fine for the first couple, and then once they get moving, they want to try to speed and be aggressive. So here's how it should look. Know that anytime you speed up, you're either speeding up out of the air or you're speeding up off the bounce. There's 2 different types of attacks, out of the air or off the bounce. Anytime that I speed out of the air, usually it has to come off of a lift dink. And most times it's gonna come off a lift dink because I am dinking with more intent. I'm dinking deeper in the kitchen. I'm pushing my opponent back, or I'm hitting a more linear pressurized dink, which forces my opponent to have to hit a lift. Off of that lift dink, now I have some time. I can wait for the ball to get to the apex, and then I can pick my poison and look to speed up from there. This is how it would look. So we're dinking back and forth here. I'm gonna hit a more pressurized dink. So this is a pressurized dink. It's a little deeper in the kitchen, kind of in that indecision zone. It's forcing Ethan to either take a step back or maybe take a ball out of the air from his shoelaces. But off of this dink, it's gonna give me a lift. Off of that lift, now I have time and I can speed up. And you wanna make your speed up look like your dink. I'm looking to disguise it and force Ethan to kind of be surprised as I make contact with my speed up. Okay, so I'm moving Ethan around. I'm trying to get a ball that I can work with. Okay, making my forehand speed up look identical to my forehand dink, okay? Know that anytime you're speeding up, you can go off pace and well placed. I would say at the highest level, there's a good portion of speed ups. That's not a hard 80% speed up. It's more like 40 to 50%, but it's put in a good location, and then they're looking to recounter off of that. So this is how it'd look. I'm gonna hit my push dink, push, same look, lift. There's a little sitter, and then I'm ready for the recounter. I'm hungry and eager off of the speed up to lean into violence and then get ready to use my hands and clean up my mess off of the speed up. The fourth mistake that we see is beginner level players are simply just using the wrong grip. I would say 2 main grips that I see is players are in full Western and they're trying to dink from here, they're trying to hit their forehand ground stroke from here, the face is too closed. Anytime I'm in this grip, you're probably gonna have more of like a pancake type volleys. If you're hitting a forehand, you're really gonna have to lodge that elbow under. If you're hitting a backhand dink, it's very easy to wanna start using your wrist. I would say this grip does not make sense in pickleball. Another grip that I see is, players, when they volley, they're trying to volley from here and they're trying to dink from there, so it's all very heavy backhand. If I'm here, pretty self-explanatory, the forehand is not available. So we want to make sure that we're just in a grip that's universal, that makes sense for all strokes, and doesn't make you vulnerable when you're at the kitchen line, whether you're hitting dinks or you're hitting volleys. The grip that we're going to be talking about is continental. So continental, I can pretty much use any shot in the game in continental, whether it's a dink, it's a volley, it's a punch volley, it's a block volley. I can hit a backhand roll, I can hit a forehand roll, I can hit a serve, I can hit a ground stroke, I can hit a drop. Basically anything in pickleball I can use just with continental. So continental, so if I was to shake hands with the handle, this is continental. If I had a hammer in my hand and I was hammering down a nail, this is continental. Basically, if I was to draw a line down the center of the paddle, this is called 0. My base knuckle does not want to be there. This is called extreme continental. So this is 0, this is 1. If I was to line up my base knuckle just lightly on the side of the paddle there, if my index knuckle or my base knuckle lines up at 1, that means I'm in continental. I should feel like I'm shaking somebody's hand, or if I had a hammer in my hand, it's like I'm hammering down a nail, okay? So I'm dinking in this grip. I can hit lift dinks in this grip. I can hit push dinks. And the nice thing about this grip is that I'm versatile on both sides. I can hit both forehand and backhand. If Ethan and I were to get in a volley battle, we can volley in continental as well. Again, a couple more. If I was to hit block volleys, I can block in continental as well. Take a look. Forehand, same thing. If I'm in transition and I'm looking to play soft, whether it's off the bounce or it's out of the air, I'm in continental. If I am at the baseline and I'm hitting drops, I'm in continental. I can use spin if I'm in continental. I can use top spin. I can use slice. I can just guide and steer my drops. If I'm hitting ground strokes, I can be in continental. Forehand and backhand ground strokes. And if I am serving, guess what? You can also be in continental, okay? Universal grip can be used for any stroke. I've been hitting my Ferrari forehand and I've been blasting serve since day one, all in this grip. The fifth mistake that we see at a beginner level is simply they just can't get the serve in. You should use the serve as a starter. You should use it by just getting the point started. So a couple things that I see at a beginner level as far as mistakes on the serve would be a lot of beginners have their ball toss either too far out in front and they're chasing it, or their ball toss is too close to their body and it's causing them to change the flight path on their swing. Some players are overcompensating with their wrist. Some are taking the paddle back way too far. If you're in a position where you're at a lower level and you love the sport of pickleball, but you can't even get the point started, there's nothing more frustrating in pickleball. So here's just some examples on what I see. So either chasing the toss, getting too far out and extended, chasing the toss, getting too far out and extended, or toss is too close to your body and it's causing you to hit this little can opener serve or open the face of the paddle. Again, too close to my body, a little can opener serve. Some are overusing the wrist and really trying to crank it over from here. Too big a take back, something like this. Or let's say you're just over rotating. You're trying to add way too much kinetic chain. You're trying to overuse the hips. You're getting really closed and then trying to open. So let's just kind of start back to the basics, start back to elementary, and let's just focus on keeping the stance open, hips and belly button is facing at my target, paddles facing at my target, and as far as where the tossing arm should be, I can position my tossing arm facing at the net post, or I can position my tossing arm kind of parallel with the baseline here. Main focus is that I am guiding and steering. I'm not using any wrist. I'm not adding hip rotation. I'm just simply guiding and steering my serve in. I'm keeping the hand position still. I'm leading with the palm of the hand, and I'm just pushing and driving the palm of my hand directly at my target.